Hi, I'm Mega Vergan, and welcome to part 5 of the Villains of James Bond, the final part for this review series. Well, let's get started. From the 2006 official James Bond movie Casino Royale, here is Le Chiffre. Le Chiffre is the private banker for the world's terrorists. And Le Chiffre, you see, he betted like a lot of money on for a plane to be blown up in this movie, but James Bond prevented the plane from being blown up, so Le Chiffre suddenly then owed a whole lot of money, and so Le Chiffre went to Casino Royale, the casino, to play poker. I think it was poker. Yeah, it was poker. And so to get his money, so he could pay it to the terrorists, so then they wouldn't kill him. Similar to what happened in the book, only in the book, Le Chiffre died by being shot in between the eyes by a Smersh hitman. In this one, however, Le Chiffre was shot in between the eyes by Mr. White, a member of Quantum. Mr. White. This is the first of 2 movies so far that Mr. White has appeared in. Mr. White is the Quantum agent who was, I'm pretty sure he was the one that was threatening Vesper Lynn, and he is the one who killed Le Chiffre. But he threatened Vesper Lynn, and James Bond at the end of this movie arrested Mr. White. But Mr. White returns in Quantum of Solace. Molaka. Molaka's actually not really a main character. He's just this guy that James Bond chases around because he's a bomb maker. But the reason I chose him is because this scene in the Guinness Book of World Records for James Bond was voted as the #1 stunt. And I remember this guy really well, so I decided to choose him. Molaka was just a bomb maker who James Bond killed just by shooting him, and then I think destroyed or attacked an embassy. Yeah, that was Casino Royale. I'm making good time. Okay, the next movie, Quantum of Solace. This is where Dominic Green comes in. He's the main villain in Quantum of Solace, and he wants to destroy the water supply for the people in Bolivia, I believe, and by that giving he associated with General Medrano, giving him back his country in order to take the water supplies away. And yeah, he's the main villain in this one. And Dominic Green dies when James Bond abandons him in the desert and gives him a thing of oil. And it was then said by M that Dominic Green was found dead in the desert with 2 bullets in the back of his head and motor oil in his stomach. So anyway, that is that. Yes, Mr. White. You see this guy again. Mr. White was arrested by James Bond, and at the very, very, very beginning, like actually the first scene of this movie, I saw this movie 3 times. So at the very beginning of this movie, Mr. White was in the trunk of James Bond's car, and his men were trying to get him back, so it was a big car chase, and James Bond made it to MI6 headquarters, and then Mr. White was put into custody. They interrogated him, and then James Bond, one of Mr. White's men, a guy who works for Quantum, Craig Mitchell, attacked James Bond, and James Bond went after Craig Mitchell, killed him, but when he got back, Mr. White was gone. Mr. White was later shown at the opera, but that was all that he was shown. So he was also one of the main villains, but not as main as Dominic Green, though. Next we have General Medrano. General Madrano is the bad guy. He's a henchman of Dominic Green, I believe, but, however, I consider him as more of a secondary villain, and the reason being is because General Madrano was also a real bad guy, and he made he was doing deals with Dominic Green, and General Madrano was also responsible for the scar on Camille's back. He also killed her mother and her mother and her sister. General Madrano was shot by Camille in revenge for that. Next, we move to the unofficials. Max Largo. This was from the movie Never Say Never Again, as I mentioned in part 1. Max Largo, similar to, he did the same exact thing in hijacking 2 nuclear warheads, and he hid one of them under the sea. And he got shot. However, his death was a little bit different. Domino still shot him with a spear, but he got shot in the stomach this time. Next, Blofeld. Once again, we have Ernst Stavro Blofeld. And his cat, too. Blofeld wasn't really a main character in this, but still, his face was shown, and he was still the main villain, or the boss villain. Blofeld, however, survived in this one. Next we have Le Chiffre. This is the unofficial spoof of Casino Royale that was made in 1967. In this one, Le Chiffre was played by Orson Welles, and this Le Chiffre was more of a funny Le Chiffre and less of a creepy Le Chiffre. He performed magic tricks at the Casino Royale and was cheating by wearing these glass sunglasses to see through the cars. But, however, his death was probably the most similar, even though the Smersh hitman that shot him came out of a random place. It was still a similar death. Then we have this guy, Dr. Noah. He's also known as Jimmy Bond because it is said that since it's an unofficial, they could do whatever they want. That this guy was James Bond's nephew, and what Jimmy Bond, aka Dr. Noah, the head of Smersh, wanted to do was basically destroy all the men bigger than him, so he'd be the only man for the ladies. He failed, though. When he died, he accidentally drank his potion to do it, and he blew up. Le Chiffre. His plan is to escape Smersh by playing Baccarat. Only in this one, Le Chiffre did torture James Bond like in all the other ones, yet only Le Chiffre didn't die in this one. James Bond just had him arrested. Well, anyway, I am Megavergan, and thank you for watching.